What's going on, guys? Tanner here with Morcic. So I've got another story here for RuneScape for you guys today. This is coming from a subscriber. We're gonna call him Brian. Okay, this is from Brian. Been playing RuneScape since he can remember. It was 2007, 2008 when he started playing. And never really been a great PvMer. Brian met a friend on RuneScape. We're gonna call this friend Chris. Brian and Chris. We're gonna call it Brian, Chris. Brian met a friend named Chris on RuneScape, talked for years and years and years. Like they still talk to this day on RuneScape. They both still play RuneScape. They both have each other's Snapchat. Like they just, it's one of those friends you meet, like a lifelong friend you meet online, and it goes really well, you know? Also, I want to take a second to apologize for my voice. I've been sick for like 2 weeks, so I do apologize. But anyways, we're going to get back to Brian and Chris. So Brian, never been great at PvM. Chris, always been really, really good at it. And we all know how challenging it is to get things you want in this game, especially when IRONMAN mode released on RuneScape, old school RuneScape. And anyways, Brian made an IRONMAN account on old school RuneScape when it launched. But it was so hard for him to get past. We all know it. We all know it. We all struggled with it at first, at least. The fight caves. Jad. He wanted a fire cape. Couldn't seem to get it done. He tells his frustrations to Chris about it over and over and over again. Just motivation, motivation. Well, you know, after years of talking and building friendships and trust, these two are really, really close, right? So he just asks Chris, this is going to be a huge, huge gamble, but it's a huge favor. It's a huge favor to ask. It's a lot of time to ask. And I don't know how to ask it. But would you mind getting a fire cape for me? And Chris, you know, he's not really surprised by this question. The two have made trades before. They've lent items to each other before on normal accounts. But this is an IRONMAN account. This is something that Brian has worked really, really hard on over the years. And to put your IRONMAN account at risk by letting someone else log into it, we all know, obviously, technically against the rules, but as kids, we've all account shared before, right? I mean, that's just kind of what you did as a kid growing up. But like I've said, and before, this was something a little bit different. This was asking someone to log onto your account to get an item for you, a non-tradable item on your IRONMAN. What if this person, what if you can't trust this person? You think you can, but when they get on your account, what if they drop all your stuff as an IRONMAN? What if they, you know, like what if they trade it over to a normal account and sell it? What if, you know, they could do anything. They could take your account. It's always a risk. Well, Brian asks Chris this anyways. And Chris says, yeah, I'll do it for you. To his surprise, like Brian's like, oh, wait, are you for real? He goes, yeah, I'm for real. And they move this conversation over to a Discord chat because you don't want to talk about that sort of thing in game, right? Yeah, they don't want to technically break the rules, even though they're really good friends, and he's trusting him, right? So anyways, Brian tells Chris, you know, man, thank you so much. If you want, I can give you a few mil from my other account. I can give you a bond, whatever you need. And Brian says that to Chris, and Chris says, yeah, you know what? That sounds pretty nice. Thank you. I'd really appreciate that. If you give me 2.5 mil, we'll call it a day. I'll put that money on my normal account. Brian's like, yeah, okay, I can find a way to get you 2.5 mil. That can get done. No problem. I really appreciate it. Okay, so they find a way, you know, to work out the financial part. And then comes the part of like actually giving someone your account password. Like, dude, please don't screw me over. I'm really, you know, worried about this. I know we've been friends for a long time, but Chris is saying, dude, yeah, I got you. You asked me for help. I'm telling you I'll help. 2.5 mil, I'll get you your fire cape on your IRONMAN account. You know, so, I mean, he's still skeptical. He's still shaky about it. But he knows that Chris can get it done because Chris has always been good at the game. His Iron Man is far... They started in Iron Man at the same time, but Chris's is like... You know, he's got like base 80s or 90s, you know, and he's always just doing really well at the game. Fire Cape is no big deal for Chris. Anyways, he sends him his account password on Discord. He has two-factor authentication set up. They get past that, you know, he approves it. But, you know, Chris gives him a list. He goes, man, if he gets on his account and he goes, you don't have the gear I need. He DMs him, right? He goes, you don't have the gear I need to get you a fire cape. Okay, so he logs back out. Brian logs back on his account. He's really tempted to change his password because he's like, oh my gosh, like... Okay, he didn't drop anything. He didn't do anything bad. He logged out saying I didn't have the gear he needed to get the fire cape. So Chris then sends him a DM saying, here's the items you should get. Here's the inventory setup I want you to have when I log on. Yada, yada, yada. Brian's like, okay, I can get this done. I can get this done. But should I even trust him to get on my account again? I was really, really scared for like the 2 minutes that he was online. I was really, really scared. Do I trust him to get back onto my account? Do I trust him? Do I get the gear he told me to get? The inventory setup he told me to get? Well, he does. Brian goes, gets the bruise, you know, or I guess I'll have to let me read some of the description he sent. It doesn't say anything about bruise. Does it? Because I don't know if this is his IRONMAN account. I don't know if he had 81 Herblore or not. Anyways. But he gets this inventory set up just the way Chris requested it to get the fire cape for Brian on his Iron Man account. Like a day and a half goes by. He says, hey, I got the supplies you need. I got a better bow. I got the rune crossbow instead of the bone bow or whatever he was trying to use, or the magic short bow, something like that. He went and got it from a clue scroll, or he went and killed Crazy Archaeologist for the magic short, for the rune crossbow, stuff like that. He gets the gear Chris requested. Sends him the password again, or tells him, hey, it's okay to log on again. You got this. So he's just sitting by. He gets on an alternate account, seeing that his account is now logged in. And he's like, okay, he's chatting with him on his account the whole time. And every time 2 to 3 minutes goes by and he doesn't get a response from his own account, he's freaking out, thinking he's being hacked or something. He's so scared. Brian is shaking in his boots. And, you know, he's geared up, he's ready, he left the account, but Chris is talking to him, you know, he's giving him some communication. He'll be like, yeah, wave 20, wave 36, wave 41, and he's getting updates. He's slowly getting updates. So Brian, you know, he thinks, okay, everything's going right, everything's going right. He's scared, you know, oh crap, what happens if Chris dies while he's on my account? What if he loses something? What if he doesn't feel like trying it again? Am I even going to get a fire cape? Should I even expect a fire cape? Should I expect to be hacked? What is going to happen? Let's just say, like, I don't know, an hour goes by and Chris logs out of his account. No word. No word. He just logs out. Brian immediately like flips. He calls him in Discord, no answer. Logs onto his account real quick. And it says, the dreaded message. Account has not logged out from its last session. He goes, oh crap, I swear I just saw him log out. Did he turn his private off? Did he log out? He's shaking in his boots. So he calls him again he calls Chris again on Discord. No response, no response. He's freaking out. Brian is like, oh, okay, my account is seriously hacked. It's donezo. No way, you know. But another 20 minutes go by, right? So it's been like maybe an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half. He gets a message on Discord saying, hey, you're good to go. And Brian at this point has already kind of made peace with the fact that he was hacked. His account is still logged in. Private is most likely off because it says account is still logged in its last session. And then Brian messages back Chris, what? He goes, yeah. Sends him a screenshot of a fire cape in the inventory. Brian logs back into the game real quick. Opens up his inventory. He sees that the supplies is kind of dwindled down. He's in the 𝘚𝑒𝑠𝑎𝑟 fight pits area. And there's a fire cape in his inventory. And he can't believe it. He sees Chris log back on to his, Chris's normal account. And he finds a way to get him paid 2.5 mil. He's got a fire cape, and his buddy Chris helped him out. Everything actually worked out. Like, everyone's afraid to get hacked, but everything worked out, and they're still friends today. He got him a fire cape. I don't know if he's asked him to get him anything else in the game, but what a guy. What an online friend, especially in a environment and community like RuneScape, where it could have been very, very toxic. It could have been very misleading, mistrusting, but I mean, everything worked out. They're still friends today. Obviously, I think Brian probably changed his password. I don't think they account share. They may have talked about it in the past, but they still both play. They don't talk every day like they used to, but they're still really good friends, and they'll Snapchat each other. They have a streak on Snapchat, but they don't really talk every day, like actually communicating wise. But that's it, man. He got a fire cape, but he was shaking in his boots, and they both still play the game. That's my story, sent to me from a subscriber. Like I said, we're going to call him Brian. So Brian, thank you so much for the story. If you guys have other stories, make sure you either DM me on Twitter, Instagram, email me, or just join my Discord and PM me, guys. Join my clan in-game Morcic. But that's the time Brian got a fire cape from his buddy Chris on his IRONMAN account. Freaking awesome. Congrats on the fire cape, I guess, but I hope you also learn fight caves yourself. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.